The other aspect to be careful of is when you're using the heat shell is the fact that you have a very long reload, despite the fact that you have a designated loader. That's what I needed. Surprise! Hey guys, it's Jim here, and welcome back to War Thunder. And before we get into the vehicle, I'm not exactly sure what happened last week, but my Churchill Mark 1 video just blew the F up. I'm like, what the heck happened there? I really have no idea. But even though after that, it stopped at like 3,300 views or something, I gotta say though, thanks. Like, it's definitely doing better than most of my videos in the past. Like, is it almost 1 year already? Anyway, in the past 8 months or something. Ever since I stopped using generals. Anyway, thanks for watching it, man. I really do appreciate it. But enough of that. In today's video, we are looking at the OG Semovente. You know, not counting the other vehicle. This is the OG Semovente, or in a more technical term, the Semovente 7518 M41. And how do you know this is a OG Semovente? The fact that you are using a short 75mm with a symbol for a muzzle brake. Now let's break this vehicle down, and I'll let you decide whether this vehicle is worth using or not. Now first things first, armor. This is really not much to look at, honestly. 50mm, like, I get that most SPAs will struggle to pen this, as well as 50 cals, but the unfortunate thing is that you're not gonna bounce at guns. Like 37mm, 40mm, even the Pencil 4 APC PC can punch through this. So yeah, this is not a very protective frontal armor at all. And not to mention, you basically have very little to no angles in the design at all, at near 90 degrees. And not to mention, this is not something easy to miss. Like, this is just massive. And to make things worse, you only have 3 crewmen, so it doesn't really take too much to kill you, unfortunately. Like, an APC BC hitting the driver hatch, and yeah, that's 2 out of 3 crewmen right there. So yeah, this vehicle is not very survivable. And just be careful about another thing though, SPAs may not be able to pen this, but they can definitely pen this, or this. Even though transmission's in the way, yeah. Autocannons as autocannons go, they just keep firing until you die. And you might be thinking, can you play this like the other Semovente that I did? You know, just angle? Well, here's the unfortunate thing though. Firstly, it's only 50mm, meaning that it's not really going to protect you even though you angle. The other problem is the fact that you have this, the damn corner wedge. Otherwise, everything else of the armor is really pretty mediocre, since this is a reserve vehicle. 25mm sights, 25mm rear, and your roof armor is basically non-existent. So 50 cars can definitely shred you from top down. But the good news is that at least you're not a open top vehicle, even though you look like one. Now moving on, this is the firepower of the vehicle. 75mm, 75-18 Mod 34 cannon, and if you want me to put this in a more comparison terms, this gun kind of behaves a little bit like the Pencil 4 F1 75mm. Let me show you why. Now, apart from the stock shell that you will be starting for the first time, this is gonna be a struggle. You don't have a lot of penetration with this thing, like 45mm at point blank. The good news is that most of the times you'll be facing Stuarts, BTs, Daimlers, no, basically vehicles that there's no armor whatsoever. Just be a bit careful that you don't exactly have good range, so you might have to bring the fight to short range, close quarters. But the good news is that it's not too difficult to grind this thing, so you can get the upgraded EPC shell, which has 52mm of penetration and 217 grams of explosive mass. Like, in the event that this does actually penetrate, that tank is not going to be alive for very long. Oh my goodness, but does pen a little bit weaker than the Panzer IV F1 with the AWK 37 75mm APCBC, so that's something to be careful of. And not to mention you're at 2.0, so that means you may come across German 105s, SU 122s, and the Valentine Mark 1. So this round will not cut it, unfortunately. But the good news is that, like the Panzer IV F1, you do have access to heat shell. And this heat shell is basically exactly like that upgraded heat shell on the Panzer IV F1. 100mm of penetration at any range, good angle of penetration, so yes. Germans and T-34s isn't going to be a problem for you. However, be very careful about one thing though, the other aspects of the gun. The ammo, 43 shells, feel free to bring as many as you want because, you know, they all stack in one side, so it doesn't matter if you bring like 25 shells only, you're just gonna get ammo right in this thing pretty easily, so bring as many as you want, it doesn't really matter. But what I will bring is around 20 APC BC shells, so that I can one-shot most tanks that I come across, and 20 heat shells in case I come across something that I can't pen with the APC BC. Now the other aspect to be careful of is when you're using the heat shell is the fact that you have a very long reload, despite the fact that you have a designated loader. As heat shell goes, since it behaves a little bit like solid AP rounds, yeah, 7 seconds is really not gonna cut it well. Otherwise, negative 12 gun depression, that's actually excellent. No gun stabilizer, but you know, it doesn't really matter with this thing. So all in all, just let me know what you think about this vehicle. For me, it's a decent start. I mean, it's kinda like the StuG 3A, but the reloading is a bit of a nightmare to use, unfortunately. But at least your mobility isn't too lacking. Anyway, that's all I gotta say about the vehicle. Let's take this thing into battle, and let's see what we can do with this thing. That's right. As much as I want to help you guys, I hear somebody. That's all I needed. Surprise!
We no longer have the advantage.
I'm so sorry, dude.
We don't have the advantage anymore.
Ah, god damn it. Keep trying. The explosive mess is so big. He splashed on the other guy. Not a good time, Amy. Not really a good time.
Attention to the designated grid zone.
Ay.
Allied forces have captured the zone. Allied forces have captured a zone.
Oh god damn it, okay. Shh, you don't see me, you don't see me, you don't see me. You're a stupid pilot.
Allied forces have captured a zone.
You don't see me either. You don't see me either. You're a very stupid pilot. Awesome. You're not. welcome.
Enemy forces have captured a zone. Attention to the map.
Damn it.
Attack the C point. Attention to the designated grid zone. Allied forces have captured a zone.
For smoke shells. Oh, smoke grenades right about now.
Attention to the designated grid square. Affirmative. The enemy has most of the strategic zones. Leading for landing! Allied forces have captured a zone. The enemy is getting closer to victory. Allied forces have captured a zone.
Nice one, fish. Pay attention, buddy.
Leading for landing. Our victory is near. Need cover! Attention to the map. Attack the B point. La tua alla destra. La tua alla destra. La tua alla destra.
Gotcha, bitch.
Allied forces have captured a zone. Attention to the designated grid zone. Let's keep the pressure on. Victory is close. Attention to the map! Roger that. Enemy forces have captured a zone. Attention to the map.
The hell, buddy.
Attention to the designated grid zone. Allied forces have captured a zone. Attention to the map! Caricare proiettili perforanti.
That's not the guy I'm worried about.
Allied forces have captured a zone.
That's the guy I'm worried about. That is something I don't know what to see. Damn it!
Most of the zones are under enemy control. We're ahead of the enemy.
Ay.
The enemy has captured most of the strategic zones.
I got it. Nope, I don't. There you go, there you go, there you go. Uh-huh. Heat shells never fail.